I'm proud. This visit is important.
Once people actually see what we do, talk to the communities, their points of view radically change.
We're open to dialogue and we believe it's a good thing. So hopefully the realities of what's happening in Colombia is brought back here and spread through Switzerland.
I hope at the end of the trip they will realize and understand what we have done for the people and the citizens in this region.
NGOs are taking a closer look. That's good.
We want to fully understand what's going on.
The merger of Glencore and Xstrata brought hundreds of millions in taxes to Switzerland. The local citizens were interested in finding out whether that money had been made in a sustainable manner, particularly as commodity trading is important for Switzerland. Some communities voted to spend a proportion of the total on development projects. A group of interested Swiss citizens travelled to Colombia in January 2015 to take a look at Glencore's activities. The group made a detailed report and continued questioning of Glencore's activities. Glencore's CEO, Ivan Glasenberg, invited some of the most critical individuals to Colombia to visit the mines and to engage in dialogue with him, the NGOs, union members and local people.
We have heard an increasing amount of critical comments in Switzerland and wanted to engage for ourselves. We want to know what is really going on, right at the core.
It is good that NGOs are taking a close look. We have a civil society that takes a close look at the government. It would be better if we could participate in other topics.
Es wäre schön, wenn wir den Fokus ein bisschen auf andere Projekte richten, nicht müssten wir so intensiv dabei sein.
Glencore has been present in Colombia since 1995. Today, it operates the PRODECO Group assets and is a joint partner along with Anglo American and BHP Billiton in the Cerrejón operation.
PRODECO has two large open-cut operations, the CHANCLETA mine and the La Jagua mine. Between those, we have about 6,500 direct and indirect employees, and we produce close to 21 million tonnes. So PRODECO is about 25% of Colombia's production, which is about 15% of exports is coal. So that gives you some idea of the size of the business and the size of the coal industry to Colombia. It's very important to the country.
Our companies here in Colombia, between Cerrejón and Calenturitas, PRODECO, we contribute over $1 billion a year in royalties and taxes to the government here. So the generation of the benefit for the country is enormous. The multiplier effect for the people who work at our mines, the thousands of people who work on our mines, their lives, I believe, are getting much better, and it is getting better.
Glencore has to deal with many sensitive topics, human rights and security, as well as the implementation of environmental standards, for example, for dust and water.
Dust is an issue that we manage in all our coal mines around the world. The major way we mitigate that is through applying water to our roads and to keep the dust down.
The water used by PRODECO is groundwater and not drinkable. As a result, this does not impact the water available for the communities living near the mines.
In 2010, with the industry expanding in the region, the government looked at the situation and did predictive dust models and determined that a number of communities needed to be relocated. We, to date, have relocated one community, Plan Bonito, and we're in the process of relocating the El Hatillo community. It's a difficult thing for a community to be relocated. The various companies have different experiences in these. Glencore, being more experienced than the other companies, probably brings to it a little bit of that international experience in resettlements.
So there's a lot more of the waste movements in areas of coal. In each of these blocks, we've got
Where are we standing in this map?
We're standing right here on the edge of the
Okay.
edge of the runway. So if you
So
look,
that would be this.
Yes.
so if you look over there.
Certain distance from the border.
Yes.
And that line follows the mountains. Okay? And it comes around here. And La Hagua town is within that reserve.
Despite high international standards being in place, resettlements are still considered controversial.
Showing my
And
people.
companies like Glencore always talk about how they bring well-being to the people surrounding the operations. But if you look at Colombia, after 20 years of investment, the people that live surrounding the mines are in a worse situations than they
That's
were.
the debate. Because I saw how the people lived in the areas I've been to, how they lived before and how they live today. I think today is better. Utopia for me is where children get educated, where children have medical health, where children get brought up properly. That's our duty to the world. They do all these different
really
studies,
high.
how they were before and how they are. What do you call it? Yeah. And what I see, it's a better life today, but we can debate that. A lot of the stories that people are telling them is not quite correct. We do have some issues, but all the issues are being resolved, and the communities which are being moved have been moved from very terrible conditions to very good conditions. I hope at the end of the trip they will realize and understand what we have done for the people of Colombia, what we have done for the people and the citizens in this region, the massive benefit that they've got from Glencore. I like to meet them, and I enjoy meeting them on the sites where they can see with their own eyes what we've done, and I can see for my own eyes issues which they believe we may have here. And if there are issues, I want to see them, because I do visit here regularly. And if there are certain issues in the community which haven't been taken care of, then our people who work on the ground, it will be their job to fix it up as soon as possible.
Resettlement is a tremendously stressful process for everybody involved, but particularly the people that have to move. And let's remember that it is, at the end of the day, it's an involuntary process. In Colombia, the government has been clear that these 3 communities have to move. So it is an involuntary process, and that then triggers all of these international standards and best practices to make sure that, and this is the key, the people who are displaced are left better off at the end of the day.
This is a completely different surrounding, and I think this.
Gewisse Sachen habe ich nie realisiert, dass die so in die Tiefe gehen, oder jetzt auch mit der Aufnahme von der einzelnen Familien.
I never thought that they would take the treatment of each family so seriously. This information never got through to us. It was quite an experience to see that there is individual treatment at the highest level and planning for their future.
Betreuung auch da ist von Familien und eine Aufnahme von der Entwicklung von diesen Familien in die Zukunft hinein. Das denke mich sehr wichtig.
The Swiss visitors leave PRODECO's mines and travel north to La Guajira, where they visit several resettlement projects located near the Cerrejón mines. There is extreme poverty in the regions of the Colombian coal mines. This is the typical standard of living before resettlement takes place.
46 families over here, and around 30 families here. And basically, as you can see, this is the way we have a family by family baseline.
Right, what they
and then
had and what
where
they
they
got
were
now.
and what they have
Got
today.
now.
And there is a significant improvement in all of them. It is basically taking in Colombian standards from extreme poverty to middle income house.
Let's go see these people.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás tú? ¿Y esas trenzas quién te las hizo? Tú eres la mujer de las trenzas rojas. ¿Ah? ¿Cómo estás tú? ¿Y este qué es esta? Mírelo. Ah, este está bonita, muy buena. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola.
We take resettlements very seriously. We take resettlements as the last measure. We try to mitigate all of the aspects around the communities where we work in, and only when we feel that we need to protect them by moving them to a different place, we take the resettlement path. Once we feel that that's the only alternative, we engage with them very closely to understand their fears and to be able to explain to them what the process would be all about and all of the benefits that they will be receiving.
Resettling communities can take several years, as was the case for Las Casitas. Just a couple of weeks before the visit of the Swiss residents, the first community members moved into their new houses.
What we do is to actually engage. This roundtable discussion that we have called the Mesa is where we sit down, we engage with the leaders, understand their concerns, and look for joint solutions that at the end of the day are going to improve the living conditions of the resettled families.
So we're going to come and visit the house of one of them who have just recently moved.
The new houses are comparable with middle-class living standards. They provide security for the people.
I sleep much better here. I am very happy.
Su finca tiene un nombre muy original. Creo que se lo tiene que explicar a esta gente. Profesión. Porque la flojera es muy grande. Solo conocen el grito del.
¿Cómo te sientes? ¿Mejor?
Is it better here or in the old place?
What was better life?
Mire, uno se siente mejor allá.
It was better in the old place because of the soil and because we were used to being there.
Segundo lugar, que uno es un animal de costumbre.
But let me ask you, the children.
Para los niños aquí es mejor por el estudio.
For the children, it's better here.
Thank you. Yes. Oh man, yeah, you got to change, but the children. Right.
At Oregonal, Cerrejón bought agricultural land to give the farmers a sustainable income.
Me desarrollara una palabra histórica para usted. Me siento orgulloso porque la visita es importante.
I'm proud. This visit is important. When you don't visit us, you don't know the
Cuando
people.
uno no lo visita, no lo conoce la gente. Usted para mí, hoy en día lo admiro como el escudo de Colombia y la bandera de Colombia. Muchas gracias.
The community wanted to build a farm that would be sustainable for their families. We decided that we were going to support this community that had been resettled even before Glencore was owner of that 33% of Cerrejón. But we felt that we had the responsibility with these families that had been resettled in the past to actually help them build a productive, sustainable project. What we saw in Oregonal is the result of that process where we helped buying the land and supporting them on how to build this infrastructure and this plantation so that all of the families from Oregonal can actually benefit for future generations.
Lo único que le digo, la palabra del hombre vale mucho. Cuidado usted, oye, porque le pongo un memorando. Este proyecto para mí significa una esperanza, porque es un proyecto.
The project means hope for me. Productivity. I congratulate you that you are working together with us for our lives.
Quieren colaborar con nosotros y bendiciones por ustedes por venir a visitar a nosotros, porque las visitas son sagradas y son bendecidas por Jesucristo.
At the time of the visit of the Swiss residents, this community was struggling with a serious water problem. The place that the community had chosen for the relocation turned out to be too dry.
Welcome to our community. If you say the water is drinkable, guarantee it. The people are worried. They get diarrhea. We have to buy bottled water. In the past, we didn't have to do this. The water was clean and from natural sources. We tested the water. It has too much calcium and the people become sick. We have chosen this place, but they had to guarantee drinkable water. And they said they will install water treatment systems. If you drink water from the treatment system, you will get diarrhea before you arrive back at the mine.
llegando de aquí a la mina le da diarrea. Este es de la comunidad.
This is the water of the community of Barranca.
Y mira, este es el agua que hierve para cocinar.
This is the water for cooking. It has too much salt.
Es el mensaje que queremos darles a ustedes.
This is our message to you. You need to listen to us and solve the water problem, because without water, there is no life.
Si uno sin agua no tiene vida.
The problem does exist. The drought is a lot more severe than anyone expected, and that's why we are having this problem. It's an unexpected problem. No one wanted to move you to an area where there's no water. So what they're telling me is, hopefully when the drought goes, it will be better. Secondly, they've got to find a short-term solution. Thirdly, they've got to make sure they drill some better wells and work with the Rio Rancho River to make sure you get fresh water. But this problem did occur because to me it seems crazy to move here if there's no water, but the problem is there because of the drought. But they've got to find a solution for it.
Lo más urgente que hemos escuchado acá.
We have heard this. Please be calm. We are working with you and will deliver what we have promised.
We have worked after the visit in several steps, always in dialogue and together with the community. On the short term, we have been providing water by water trucks to the communities since the visit happened until the medium-term plan is actually in place. Part of the medium-term plan has to get the water from new wells, and once we get the authorization to actually be able to get the water from the well, we'll be able to produce even more water, not only for human consumption, but also to start supporting some of the productive agricultural projects that the community wants to perform.
This is the normal procedure for us. This is according to the International Finance Corporation standards.
In the PRODECO offices, the NGOs, Swiss visitors, and the management of the mines come together for a final meeting to discuss the next steps.
You take them from that life, the new life we give them, even though they prefer the new life.
Nosotros consideramos que la visita es un gran primer paso para hablar sobre los aspectos más críticos de los impactos de las operaciones de Glencore en Colombia.
This visit is a great first step for talking about the controversial topics of Glencore's operations in Colombia. With this positive dialogue, trust can be built, and that's a positive message.
Y creemos que este es un buen mensaje inicial para un proceso que queremos nosotros continuar no solamente como una ONG, sino como parte de la sociedad civil colombiana.
Working as a team.
Trying.
Yes, trying.
Ich glaube, man muss diesen Leuten sagen, dass sie einfach eine super Arbeit machen und mit ihrer Leidenschaft.
We need to tell the people that they are doing a tremendous job, that with their passion and their engagement, they are supporting the development of GUAJIRA. I want to support them and say, go on like this.
Die Leute nochmal ihrem Engagement und ihrer Leidenschaft eigentlich stützen und sagen, sie sollen dort weitermachen.
Ich bin jetzt persönlich am Schluss der Reise für den Moment optimistisch. Hoffe, dass die Zusagen, die Herr Glasenberg heute gemacht hat, vor allem in El Hatillo, dass die etwas bewirken.
At the end of the trip, I'm positive. I hope that Mr. Glasenberg's promises will have an impact, particularly for El Hatillo. I was really surprised as I didn't expect him to be so clear. We will keep on observing to see that the problems are really solved, that progress is made, and that the people have decent lives in the interim.
Ja, so bin ich im Moment optimistisch.
I think the visit by the Swiss residents was particularly important from both sides. It gave the Swiss residents real information.
I think it's good now they understand and they see what we've done. We now can work closer together to resolve the issues.
We fully respect that people outside of our operation have critical comments on what we do, be it on mining or what we do socially. What we have been able to discover is that once people come to Colombia, And once people actually see what we do, talk to the communities, engage, and very importantly, understand the context, their points of view radically change and fully understand the complexities that we have to go through in a department that has very limited government presence, that has a very difficult context, and that the company is really thriving to do as much as they can for the people in the communities that surround the mine.
We seek dialogue, we're open to dialogue, and we believe it's a good thing. So hopefully the realities of what's happening in Colombia, in the various resettlements, what we do in our operations, is brought back here and spread through Switzerland.